it's crazy. This movie was crazy to see that this happened and it's able to be made into a film, and it's just another like check mark on the atrocity list of America. This country is fucked up. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sniff or Snap with HB from KC. This week is gonna be a fun one. We're talking about Judas and the Black Messiah. We're gonna dive into it. I'm not gonna take up too much of your time. We're gonna talk spoilers today. Yeah, we need to talk about Judas and the Black Messiah. Yeah, we need to discuss that today, so stick around to the end of the show. We just got done watching Judas and the Black Messiah together, so if you're new here, this may be new to you, but for those who have seen it, you know what time it is. King Bayesian, we need you to pop on up. Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good, baby. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Stop. You're gonna make me turn red in front of the people. When we're doing Snip or Snap now, we're watching it and not talking about it. We have not discussed it at all, which has been difficult.
Yeah.
I know he's had some thoughts. I have some thoughts, so we just gonna jump right in. Let's talk about what Judas and the Black Messiah is. It is a film that is starring Daniel Kaluuya as Fred Hampton, which we're gonna come back to that. Bill O'Neill was played by Lakeith Lee Stanfield. You probably know him from what's that movie he played in? Sorry.
Get Out and Sorry to Bother You.
Okay, you probably know Lakeith Stanfield from Get Out and Sorry to Bother You, which was weird.
And Atlanta.
Also, Deborah Johnson is worth mentioning. Dominique Fishback plays that character. She was in Project Power with Jamie Foxx. So we got a pretty heavy cast. And then, of course, J. Edgar Hoover ended up being Martin Sheen. Produced by Ryan Coogler, directed by Shaka King, as well as he's producing as well. And then we have a few writers here also. But the synopsis of the film is Bill O'Neill basically like joins the Black Panther Party under corruption. He's attached to an FBI agent named Mitchell and J. Edgar Hoover, and they pretty much advise him to like become pretty much right-hand man to Fred Hampton in order to make sure they can assassinate him. I know that's not what HBO Max says, but I'm really tired of the whitewashing. Let's just call it what it is. He was assassinated, right? Deal. Something controversial on the timeline has been the high amounts of European or British Black actors and actresses that are getting leading roles as American revolutionaries, historians, abolitionists. How do you feel about that? Like, what are your thoughts?
I am ashamed.
Okay.
I'm upset, frustrated. I am angry.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, like, I'm not Black American. And so, as somebody from the outside looking in, who has come to love and respect Black Americans, I understand where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're saying, hey, you know, we want to be represented by a Black American when it comes to these certain historical figures. That's not hard to understand.
Yeah.
It's not hard to grasp. That's not some ridiculous idea that was just floating off in space somewhere that I can just easily ignore. That is something that I believe is pertinent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that as Black people, we should respect each other enough to listen to each other. And we should respect Black Americans' wishes to have certain historical figures represented by Black Americans.
What did you think of Daniel Kaluuya's performance as Fred Hampton?
It was excellent.
I mean, I think so too.
It was really good.
I liked it a lot.
But to the people,
You stupid. These voice actors, he did a really good job. His American accent, his Chicago accent. I've never been there, but Kansas City is really close to KC. Kansas City is really close to Chicago. So I hear that accent, that Midwestern drawl. I hear it, and I really did like it. What are some takeaways you had from the film?
Man, first of all, it's heartbreaking to know that you can be betrayed by your own.
Yeah.
And not just your own as in, okay, this is another black person. Your own in the sense of you helped to save this person.
Mm-hmm.
You actually did something for this person. Changed their life in a major way, and they still could turn around and betray you.
Yeah. Snipe your ass. It's interesting because all of our black leaders have pretty much died the same way. The government killed them.
Yeah.
And that was a major takeaway for me. And it's so... I'm really excited to see the other reviews about this film that are white, because they're going to criticize it from this, technically the screenplay, I have to criticize it from a black experience because it's literally the black experience. I felt things watching this film. I got angry. I felt happiness. I felt joy. I felt plenty of sadness. And it's just, when you look at a film like this and you see the real of what happened, because his mom, as well as his child's mother, as well as his son, co-signed and wrote off on this film. So this is the most historically accurate, I would think, depiction of what happened to him. Like, his son's mother was there pregnant with his son when all of it went down. So she definitely knows, like, that's who Bill O'Neal was. That's what he did. He was the one that gave him the Kool-Aid. Not trying to spill too much, but it's crazy. This movie was crazy to see that this happened and it's able to be made into a film, and it's just another like check mark on the atrocity list of America. This country is fucked up.
Daniel Kaluuya's monologues stood out for me. Lakeith Stanfield, when he is being interrogated and stuff like that, those scenes were very, very good. Lakeith is also very, very excellent at conveying fear. It is phenomenal the way he does that. And also a lot of the actors in their supporting roles as well, it gives a very authentic feel of, being in a black neighborhood, being in this group of people who are trying to change the world. You feel like you're there.
There were some parts of the film, like now that I'm thinking back on it, that were a little bit heavy. You were sitting with me when the scene of Fred Hampton's assassination, spoiler alert, he dies. I thought y'all knew that. If you didn't know that, wow. That scene of his assassination, I didn't watch it. Can't watch it, will not watch it. I'm not putting that on myself. How did that scene go for you, though? Give some feedback on how that looked.
That was difficult. That was really difficult.
That's why I didn't watch it. No offense.
Yeah, I get it.
So let me just flat out ask, how'd you feel about the film as a whole?
It really is one of those films that when you see it, you're different afterwards. You're not the same. This is truly a moment in cinematic history that's happening right now. 2021, right? Talking about real people, real events. I really feel like it's going to inspire some younger folk to do some good for their community. Yeah, I really think that this is going to change some things.
Okay, so it sounds like the movie moved you and like touched you. So it pretty much did its job. Let's talk about the direction of Shaka King. How do you think he directed the film? Like the shots, the cinematography?
Very, very good. Very, very good. He does a really good job of recreating the actual historical, the shots of the historical footage of, like them interviewing Bill O'Neal and Fred Hampton speaking and stuff like that. I thought that was a very, very good touch. And it lent a lot of authenticity just in terms of, the shots chosen. And also, there were very, very particular ways that he chose to convey emotion. For example, when Fred Hampton and Deborah Johnson first kissed, that was a really, really nice moment. And it was handled very, very well, in my opinion.
It wasn't creepy.
Yeah, it wasn't.
They made it really just genuine, pure, and they make you realize these are two 20-something-year-old children.
Yeah, they're kids.
And I hate when people be like, oh, they was 21, they was adults. These were kids. They saw the oppression that they grew up with, and they decided to do something about it, and Fred died. Fred, as well as others, which you will see in the film, he wasn't the only one that died, which that's a common misconception that they easily trump. They killed more people than just Fred Hampton. I know you're feeling some things emotionally.
Yeah.
I know, I can feel it coming off you. Let me know though. People want to know out there, right in that camera. The people want to know, would you give this the sniff or would you give Judas and the Black Messiah the snap?
I would give Judas and the Black Messiah snap.
Snaps.
The snap.
Why is that?
I would give it the snap because it's a great film. At the end of the day, it is a great film. It is inspiring. It is empowering. It is a story well told. It is the reality that we can sometimes be blind to. It is the truth that the future generation needs to know. The reality is this. You know, it's more than just a movie for me. It's larger than life at this point.
I think for me, my snip or snap for this film was primarily based on, like, before I walked into it, I already knew, I had a clear idea of if this happens, I'm going to give it the snap. If this happens, I'm going to give it the snip. So for the snip, I'll start there. I was 100% ready to give this film the snip if this film was nothing but a trauma porn production. To me, that's what Harriet Tubman was. And again, this is not a slight to the direction. Cynthia Erivo did a great job, but that was not a historically accurate film. It was a production put out, and they modified it for their own tweaking. They did not get permission from the estate to do so, and they ran with it. That would have been the biggest snip for me. So I'm going to tell you which one I picked this week. It's the snap. I gave it the snap as well. Not only is it historically accurate, it was respectful of the family, and there was so little trauma porn involved, I was able to actually sit through and enjoy the film. I don't want to see our people being lynched. I don't want to see our people being beaten. I don't want to see our people being sprayed with water hoses or bitten by dogs. I know those things happen. I'm not saying erasure of that is necessary. I'm saying, as clear as I just said those words, there are no depictions of that, and the story was still conveyed. You do not have to emit trauma porn in order to tell Black stories that are traumatic. We don't have to do a repeat cycle of that. That's why I didn't watch Fruitvale Station. That's why I watched Django like one time, and even that for me was way too far because none of that was historical. None of it. It served no purpose except for a fucking instant replay of slavery. For me, it was really, really easy to give this the snap because I feel a heaviness knowing that it happened. I don't feel a heaviness from the instant replay. And I think when we have those conversations about Black films that retell our stories, but don't need to be traumatizing, people get offended. These stories need to be told. These things need to be, how are people going to know? First of all, books exist, so does Google. But oh my God, if we don't put it on the screen, how will people know? This film debunked all of that. This film is 2 hours and probably 20 minutes long. 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I can say maybe 10 minutes of that was traumatic. The whole movie is trauma, by the way. I'm talking about the instant replays of seeing our people be killed and hurt.
Another thing, you actually don't see Fred Hampton die.
Okay, well that's good because, like I said, I turned my head.
Yeah, they spare you from that intentionally. It's fuzzy in the background and it's a beautiful shot. Go watch it and you'll see.
So you would recommend people go watch it?
Yeah.
What kind of mental space should they be in?
Strong, happy, uplifted. Yeah, it is reality, guys. It is reality.
Yeah.
There are some empowering parts to this film. Some parts that are going to make you go, man, yeah, this is it. And it feels like you're going to win. You're not. But
I mean, and that's not to spoil the film.
Yeah.
He didn't win in real life.
Right. And
Fred Hampton would only be like 60-something now.
Yeah.
So Martin Luther King and Betty White were born in the same year. Like, these are not people of like, oh, just so long ago. This wasn't that long ago. Like, my brother was born in the 70s when all this stuff was going down. I have a living older brother who was born at the same time this was going down. Jay-Z talks about, I arrived on the day that Fred Hampton died all the time, you know, because he knows, like, that's an essential, like, that's a pivotal day. Jay-Z not that old. He might dress like a young nigga, but he not a young nigga, but he not old either.
This was excellent. Mm-hmm. This was excellent. It shouldn't have been Daniel Kaluuya. It shouldn't have been. At this point, they've said it enough already for us to hear exactly what they mean. This is not to say, oh, well, you know, you're not really black. It's not to say none of that. It's not to say none of that. It's to say, hey, we realize that the system is doing something and you guys are kind of just going along with it and not listening to us. And if you would listen to us, it would give us more of a chance at changing the system.
Yep.
At influencing the system. All right? Boom. Fred Hampton's speeches are incredible. This guy was amazingly gifted at speaking. Incredibly charismatic. A natural born leader. He's going to persuade you. As the viewer, he's going to persuade you. It's that good. It's a really good performance. Very strong. Very powerful. Very moving stuff. Mm-hmm. Especially when it gets to the part about the Rainbow Coalition.
Yeah, that was the most powerful part of the film for me. That Rainbow Coalition scene, I don't even think we realize how important that is. Fred Hampton sets up this Rainbow Coalition where it was Fred Hampton and the Black Panther Party. It was the Crowns, or was it the Crowns? Mm-hmm. It's the Crowns who protected Dr. King when he came through Chicago. And then there was also a Puerto Rican gang. And then, of course, the poor whites of the Confederacy that he had uniting together. And then there's a scene where the FBI agent that Bill O'Neill is working with, he's getting the information from Bill O'Neill. And he goes, whites plus blacks plus Puerto Ricans equals question mark. Nigga, it equals unity. Unity! Like, it equals unity. That is so, oh my God, I want us to get back to that so badly. King Beijing revealed to me that it wasn't just Bill O'Neill, and I thought to myself, why would they focus it on him? Because he was the closest, and low-key, he was the one that gave Fred Hampton the paralyzing powder for him to take. He put it in his drink. The man was literally lying in bed paralyzed, couldn't move, and then they came in and assassinated him even more. So seeing that scene and understanding like Bill O'Neill was pivotal makes sense. I get it completely. But he wasn't the only one. And I really think not acknowledging them at all did a little bit of a disservice to the film and to Fred Hampton's story. Because now we're putting this all on another black man's shoulders, and it really wasn't. It wasn't just, you know, Bill O'Neill and Agent Mitchell and J. Edgar Hoover. It was a whole system in place. Because how are these phone calls coming in from D.C. where J. Edgar Hoover works at? Who in the local police department is taking on, you know what I mean, all this intel and making parts move and things happen? They even sued for $47 million and only got like one, barely two.
It took him 12 years. It
took him 12 years to get it. And it was the longest civil case in U.S. history at that time. That is pretty fucking disgusting. Like, it just, this movie was very eye-opening for me. I already don't really fuck with this system. I don't really fuck with this government. I don't agree with a lot of the shit that they do. And this film really just lit a fire under me even more to continue to pursue true freedom. And I think that's the beauty of Fred Hampton. He realized we're not free. It feel like it because they let us go to school and they let us work and they took the shackles off. But Fred Hampton really was like, look, I'm going to finish the work of Martin and Malcolm because they killed them and still look at how we are. they gonna kill us regardless, as we saw with countless name after countless name after countless name after countless name gunned down by the police. It was eye-opening. It really lit a fire under me. Like, we got work to do. Reading is gonna take place with me. That's it from us. That is our snipper snap on Judas and the Black Messiah. If you aren't gonna watch the film, let us know in the comments. Tell us what you think. If you have watched it, put it in the comments. Let us know what you think. Did you have anything you wanted to leave with the people?
Peace and love.
Peace and love. And I have something I would like to leave to the people.
What's that?
Power to the people.